What's up, Philly?
Drew directing traffic with one hand now, holds, waits, far side for it, check, in front, they score! Hayden Shan went to the net, it deflects in, the drought over for the Flyers, they're finally on the board, a power play goal, 1-0 Philadelphia. Back the other way, Couturier jumps on it, 2-on-1 for the Flyers, Couturier and Giroux, Couturier with the puck, Couturier the shot, and rebound Giroux, he scores! Giroux. For Gostisbehere. He scores! Just like that, it's over.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Now, Andy Robb, Ken Prell, the Philly Hockey Guy.
Wow. We're going to owe Ray Parker Jr. some money. In fact, Ray Parker Jr. is outside the door. He keeps bothering us for a sandwich.
That's what he's been up to, huh?
Dude, we don't have to pay. Go away. Come back later.
Great idea. People were suggesting it on Twitter.
What, for Ghostbusters? For
Yeah, every time Ghost scores.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought, let's run with it today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
you
good
could also
stuff.
do Rory Erickson's old song, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything.
Maybe for the next show.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, man, it feels great to be back. Really
and after
does.
a win.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I forgot what that felt like on Rod Brindamore Hall of Fame night. What a better night to go ahead and pull out a win. And
Yeah, great ceremony.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we'll get to that in just a few. Of course, welcome to episode number We Don't Know of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast. Always great to be back once again. I'm Andy Robb.
I'm Ken Prell, and let's get right into it. Last night, big win, 3-2 over Carolina.
Went to overtime, although the game really didn't have a place going to overtime.
No. Again, Carolina brought it to the Flyers in the third period. Ended up tying it up. It all worked out.
Sorry,
In the end,
Caniacs. No free biscuit at Bojangles today for you.
It's not bow time.
It is not bow time. I find a severe lack of bow time.
But yeah, no, I thought it was an overall great performance by the Flyers, especially, they get out, came out, looked ready to play after that long ceremony for Rod Brindamore.
Great speech, though.
Oh, yeah, he was fantastic.
I love the story that he told about Ed Snyder when he, went down to the refs' locker room. But I think, listen, the one thing that I think I love more than that story was him basically taking a shot at Bobby Clark saying, hey, he was more of the reason that I left Philadelphia.
Well, that's really what it was.
You heard a little tiny from the crowd. You're a little, and it was the greatest thing ever.
Well, I mean, you can still hear it in the interviews Brindamore was doing yesterday, and in that speech that he really questions going out and playing hurt, and really thinks that led to him being traded. You could hear that he never wanted to leave, even though he went on to Carolina and won a cup. He wanted to stay and was very hurt when that trade went down.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 99-2000 season, the year that I think the Stars won the cup, and they got Primo out of that trade.
And I remember at the time thinking, that was probably the right move for the Flyers because
well, yeah, it's Primo,
it
right?
was Primo, and you had Lindros as the center on the top line,
mm-hmm.
and Primo as the center on the second line.
Yeah.
I mean, who was bigger in the NHL than those two guys at that time?
Yeah, not many. Not many at all.
And then both, well, we know how it all.
Yeah, we all
how it all unfolded over the next. But I can't fault the Flyers for that trade at the time because it made perfect sense.
No, absolutely.
Yep.
No, I mean, yeah, hindsight always being 20/20.
As much as I hated to see Rod Brindamore go at that time, but it made hockey sense.
But it was a great reception, and you can tell, the place is still pretty heavy on his heart. I mean, look at the reception he got at the when the draft was in the Wells Fargo Center.
Yes, that's true.
Remember that?
Yep.
Crowd wouldn't shut the hell up.
Standing ovation.
They
yeah.
just kept cheering for him.
Rick Tocchet wasn't as lucky.
Yeah, I got to give the Penguins credit for trying. Be like, so they like this guy. Maybe they won't boo us.
And Tocchet he went up there. See, I told you guys it wasn't going to
It
work.
was the most naive setup ever. Like, do you realize where you're at right now? I don't know if you do. See, I told you it wouldn't work.
Getting back to the game last night, like we said, Flyers won 3-2. Finally scoring a goal after being shut out by the Sharks and Sens last week.
Yeah. So there we got a little bit of secrets.
Yep. And that's what it's all about.
Woo.
We want to hear that. So it took
Feels good.
into the second period, 10-20 into the second period for Braden Shen to finally end the Flyers' scoreless skid at 167 minutes. Almost 168 minutes, really.
That's like 3 games.
It was getting bad.
Wow.
I mean, you get to shut out one game, it hurts, but when you get shut out twice and then go the first period in this game without scoring and then halfway through the second without scoring, you just start questioning, is this team ever going to score again?
I felt fine up until you just told me those numbers, and now I literally have this pain in my stomach.
Yep.
And that is just.
But they put 3 on the board last night.
So
let's look at the positive.
Sure. And Claude Giroux scored 2. He actually had 3-point night.
He had a 3-point night.
2 assists, 1 goal.
His goal was a shorthanded goal, the first shorthanded goal the Flyers have scored this year. Special teams looked good last night. They actually stopped Carolina on all their power plays. I think Carolina had 5 power plays last night, so it didn't score that. And the Flyers have actually killed off 12 consecutive power plays. So ever since Couturier's come back from injury, that penalty kill has looked pretty good. And then on the power play last night, went 2 for 4. So maybe, who knows? Are they finally starting to get things going, or is this they were just playing Carolina?
See, I don't know, because Carolina isn't a terrible team. They're not awful.
A decent team.
They're not as bad as Columbus is right now,
or the Flyers,
or that. Yeah, I wasn't really going to go that route, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was the kind of matchup I think the Flyers needed last night.
And they went up against their backup goalie.
Right. To really get things going, maybe open up some scoring opportunities. Get Ghost out there to quarterback some of the power play. It was the perfect opponent for them to get back on their feet last night. I'll say that. Wasn't a great game, wasn't a terrible game, but it was the right game. It was the one that they needed.
And a good way to start off a very tough stretch they have coming up.
Yeah. I mean, you got some tough teams. I mean, you've got, the Preds coming up. That they've had some trouble scoring, though, recently. They have had some scoring woes. So it's a game that I think the Flyers can win if they do it the right way, if people stay healthy. Islanders game might be a bit tricky, too. But I really do think that this Carolina game could have helped put them in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Islanders, you got the Predators, and then, on Saturday, you're up at MSG playing the Rangers. And history, the last couple of years have not been kind to the Flyers in that building. So this is a very tough week, and if they're somehow able to string together, get 4 or 5 points out of these next 3 games,
sure,
that would be amazing. That would be almost a miracle.
Yeah, hopefully this Carolina game has been the start of what could be a better run for the team. I'm not going to say a winning streak. Maybe 1 win here, 1 win there, 2 wins together, something like that. But
just put the puck in the net.
Perfect. That's it for the show. Thanks a lot for. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all good news last night.
No, it was not.
Gagne get banged up a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit. That was kind of an ugly scene.
Yeah, it was. It happened so fast.
Yeah, you didn't know what happened. You just saw him laying there, and then just a puddle of blood. And then you see the replays, and man, he just smacked his face right off the ice, and that shield just looked like it bounced back in and just.
Yeah, I mean that's frightening. You don't want to mess around with that.
With the Gagne injury now, they've called up Colin McDonald.
Andrew McDonald?
No, not Andrew. Andrew's still down in the AHL.
Wow, that is remarkably sad.
I'm kind of surprised of the Colin McDonald call-up, though. I think if I was the Flyers, I would have went with Straka. I kind of want to see what he can bring to the big team.
I'd like to see that, too, but you know what? I don't really want to rush it because he's been playing so well. He's got such a great dynamic with his teammates right now.
Leading the AHL in scoring.
Exactly. Exactly. So why break that up? I mean, you could say the same thing about Konechny. Konechny had 5 assists the other game. 5! What? How does that happen?
I mean, this is all, things that, are going to be things to look forward to over the next couple years. That, if all these pieces fall into place, you already got Ghost, you already see what he can do. It makes me very excited for the future of this team. We just got to be patient. And, but I just thought for a team that's having trouble scoring and a guy who's lighting it up in the AHL, maybe not be a bad idea to bring him up, but I understand the Hextall plan here.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably just stick to the plan. Let him keep going with that, with being top in scoring in the AHL. Why have him cap off because he held the lead for a little bit? Let him build on that. Keep going, man. Score.
All right, I'm sold. No reason to yell.
Keep doing it. I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at Ray Parker Jr. No, I told you for the last time. We don't have any food, dude.
He's still hanging around back there?
Yeah, I think he wants sandwiches or something, and I feel bad for him. I do. I feel bad for Ray Parker Jr. Look,
the royalties of that song
didn't pay off. We have a window at the studio,
yeah.
And he's trying to wipe it off with a newspaper and Windex. No, it's okay, Ray Parker Jr. It's all right, dude. Thank you. Yeah, just go over there. Man. This episode of the Philly Hockey Guys podcast brought to you by the soundtrack to the movie Ghostbusters. Even though the movie's over 30 years old, buy it anyway, so Ray Parker Jr. could get a little bit of that scratch.
We should ask Ray, is he going to be part of the new Ghostbusters?
Ray, are you going to... Oh, he's already gone.
Oh.
Look, he left streaks on the window.
That is not a quality job.
That's not quality work.
Nope. Looks like Slimer got to it. It's amazing how we just get off topic so easily.
I like how we just started taking a dump all over Ray Parker Jr. for no reason at all, except we played his song. Hey, I love this Huey Lewis in the News song. Doesn't even sound similar. I still don't get that. It doesn't sound anything like it. They're like, hey.
What was that? I want a new drug?
Yeah.
Is that the one that...
Yeah, that's what he sued Ray Parker Jr. for.
Yeah, I never heard it either. The
People
comparison.
Think it's like, that part. It's like, I don't hear that similarity between the two songs, but what can you do? It was the 80s. Everyone was on cocaine.
Sure. What are we talking about?
This is a hockey podcast. Believe it or not.
It's turned into a behind the music.
Yeah. What really happened between Ray Parker Jr. and Huey Lewis in the News?
That is a cage match I'd like to see.
Especially today, 2015.
Swinging walkers and wheelchairs around.
There's just something about elderly people fighting that just touches my heart. Oh, my God. All right, we need to get back to actual hockey talk because I know that people have already unsubscribed. They're just like, unsubscribe. F this show. So is there anything else you took away from last night's game or maybe some of the other games leading up to last night's game? We don't really need to talk about the 4-0 loss, but...
No, I mean, I think last night was a really good win for the Flyers, a much-needed win, especially when you look at the two games beforehand when they got shut out.
I know what I need to ask you about.
Okay.
The Dave Haxtell experiment, which some people on that Flyers Nation page were like, this is the stupidest thing ever. Moving Voracek around to the third.
Here's the thing. The team is handcuffed by salary cap. Haxtell can't do anything huge with this team. It's not like he's got a bunch of superstars here. Mm-hmm. He's just got to shuffle the deck of what he has. So if that means breaking up your two superstars and maybe possibly getting things going on two different lines, because it certainly wasn't clicking this year on the top line, so why not change it up and see what happens? And you look at last night, I really liked Braden Shen on that top line with Raffle and G. I thought that line looked pretty good.
And Jake had a few points last night, did he not?
Yeah, I mean, and again, you get on the power play, they all go back into place.
Right.
So
you'll have Giroux playing with Voracek.
Yeah. So
well, people think it's like the worst thing ever. This one guy on Flyers Nation was like, "Haxtell's stupid. Why are you going to take somebody that's supposed to be a top liner and put him down in your four?" Like, dude.
I think
up.
What Flyer fans have to realize right now is with this team, the way they're constructed, there's no such thing as a top line, a second line, a third line, a fourth line.
Exactly, yes.
I think what you see right now is four balanced lines. That's all Haxtell can do right now.
Yeah.
So why not spread it out? So far, I mean, it's one game, but it seemed to work out pretty well for the Flyers.
I have absolutely no problem with that move. None whatsoever. All right. Hey, Kenny, old buddy, old pal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just felt like saying that.
That was a weird segue.
I know it was. That's why I said it. I wanted to make you uncomfortable.
I am. I'm very uncomfortable.
That's fine. That was the point. All right. Well, you know what? Some of our friends and neighbors online, either on Reddit Flyers, on Twitter, on Facebook, all that stuff. Speaking of which, follow us on Twitter anytime, at Philly Hockey Guy. Check us out on Facebook, Reddit Flyers, all that stuff.
iTunes,
SoundCloud, YouTube, TuneIn.
subscribe,
Podcast
follow.
Addict, whatever
Wherever.
that is.
We're everywhere.
I think it's time that we took to the internet and some of the questions that we've been receiving for the show. So I think it's time.
Is it time for it?
I think it is.
Next question.
Even though I was looking right at you, you scared the hell out of me.
We've been sitting on these questions for a while now, so I apologize for not getting to this next question segment a little sooner.
Again, I'm looking right at the guy, and he scared me. In fact, I think he scared Ray Parker Jr.
He ain't afraid of the next question.
I ain't afraid of no questions. All right. All right, let's go with a question on Facebook from a fan who's been interacting with us quite a bit, so we got to give him a shout-out. Aaron McFarland, listener of the show. Aaron, thanks so much always for writing in. Here's a question from him.
Okay.
Who is a bigger surprise in terms of their play this season, Radko Gudas or Scott Laughton? I have found both of them to be a refreshing surprise and was quite impressed with Gudas' smart physical play. Few too many penalties taken, mind you, but also with Laughton's speed and grittiness to go for pucks even when the team is down and out. What do you think?
I think for the reasons that he brought up, I think it's got to be Gudas for me so far. He's really given the Flyers a little bit of a physical tough-ness. That I don't think
in the league in hits, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else on the team comes close to him. So he would be, if we're going with pleasantly surprised, I think I'd go with Gudas.
You know what? I know this is more your segment where you answer questions, but you know what? I'm going to have to go out and say, I'm going to have to say Gudas too. The way that he provides that spark by being a very physical player, but he also has some pretty smart decision-making abilities. Not to slight Laughton. Laughton's been
not at all.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like Laughton, and I thought he should have been up in the NHL a lot sooner.
Right. In terms of
so maybe I'm not so surprised by what Laughton has brought to the team.
That's what I was going to say. In terms of being impressed, Laughton is playing and filling the role that he was exactly cut out to do. So I'm not very surprised. I'm impressed that he's doing so well, but I'm not blown away. Gudas, when we picked him up, he was going to have knee surgery.
Yep.
You didn't know what to expect from this guy.
He was really a throw-in to that trade.
He really was.
And it's worked out well for the Flyers.
Yes. So in terms of that, I think in almost every area, I'm going to have to say Radko Gudas, but Scott Laughton has been very impressive too.
All right. Next question.
Wow. All right. Here we go. Next question. Let's go ahead and stick with Facebook, shall we?
Okay.
Another one of our listeners always interacts with us, and it's been a while since we've given shout-outs to our Facebook friends and neighbors. Shout-out to Nick Hankins, always interacting with us. Another great dude. Thanks so much for listening to the show, man. Question from Nick. If the team's record continues, which of the players with 1 year left will still be a Flyer by the end of the season?
If the Flyers continue on this path, I think you'll see Braden Shen be dealt.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see Luke Shen be dealt. I think you'll see Gagne be dealt. Now, I don't know what they're going to get in return. I think for Braden Shen, you get a nice return back.
Sure.
If you get rid of Luke Shen or Gagne, then you're just dumping salary, I think, at that point. And if you get a late round pick, okay, I'll take that. But yeah, I mean, I think I really think if things continue the way they are and they're pretty much on the outside looking in, Braden Shen's probably the guy I think is the one that you look to trade and get some good, decent stuff in return.
And as a second question that was actually asked by Nick ties into the one that I just asked you. Do you see Ron Hextall retaining some of Luke Shen's salary in order to move him?
I don't think the Flyers will need to retain any of his salary. I think he's a nice defenseman on a contender. He could be a piece that, helps get a team over the top as far as depth goes. I don't think you'll get a whole lot in return. If you want something more in return, if you want like a first round or second round pick back in return, you're going to have to eat some salary. But I think at this point you just look to get whatever you can from him. I don't think you want to eat any salary.
Okay. Now, the next question comes from Reddit, and this one kind of ties into the one that we just asked.
Okay.
Everything's starting to tie together.
Everybody wants to trade.
Reddit user Ginger Dirty Mitts, of course, as always, thank you so much for interacting with us. He asked, what offensive player do you see moving on from the team, either from a trade or via free agency after this year? You've already said Braden Shen and Gagne. Do you have anyone else that you wanted to add into that?
Depending on how the season goes, and again, I'm probably going to get you all fired up here, but a guy I think where you can get some great value in return and who's got a great salary and a team, again, who's right on the edge, who could really put them over, would be Wayne Simmons.
Oh, God. You just had to say it, didn't you?
I'm just saying, I mean, if you're looking to get a whole lot back in return, I mean, that's a guy who's respected around the league. He's a tough guy. He scores. He does all the dirty work. What team wouldn't want him?
I just ugh.
I know. You look, he's one of my favorite players too, and I wouldn't want to get rid of him. But if we're heading down this path where the Flyers aren't going to make the playoffs, and you can get some, I hate to use a Sixer term here, assets back in return for Simmons, why not make that trade?
The homer in me with my orange glasses on, it's saying, no, God damn it, I do not ever want to trade Wayne Simmons. But yes, you do make that good point. Yes, you could get one hell of a haul for him.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean I'm going to sign off on that.
No. I mean, he's one of my favorite players on the team, and I hate to see him go. But again, if this team is on the outside looking in, what good does he really bring to the Flyers at this point?
Here I was thinking you're going to be like, Vinny Lecavalier.
Nothing more I'd rather do than to trade Vinny Lecavalier, but I just don't think that's happening.
Reddit Flyers user R35H93, great poster, always love seeing stuff from him, posts the question this: what is one trade you would make right now if you were Ron Hextall?
Well, I think I kind of just answered that in the last question.
So if you would trade Simmons?
Yes, because I think he has the most value on the team. Another guy who I would look at, but it's going to be harder to trade, would be Couturier, because he just did sign that big contract.
Yes.
But if you're looking to get a lot in return, I think that he's another one that could get you a lot in return. But if you look at what he's done since he's come back from his injury, we talked about it earlier, the penalty kill has now killed off 12 consecutive power plays. So
sure, have really stepped
up.
And
it's really all due to him.
Yeah,
so,
the guy's an asset for sure. I mean, he definitely makes an impact.
But his contract makes him a little bit harder to trade. So, yeah, Simmons would be the guy who I would look at trading right now, again, as much as I would hate to do it. He gets you the most in return.
I would make that deal too, but I would take whatever team it is. I would take them to the cleaners.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would be like, you want him, you're going to have to pay up big time.
And anybody out there, and I've seen it thrown around the last couple of weeks, that wants to trade Giroux, you're insane.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Just stop being a fan of hockey altogether.
Just stop watching hockey. Yeah. Don't even go outside when it's icy.
No.
That's how embarrassing you are.
You know what? Move down to Florida, become a Panthers fan, because that's what you
Get
deserve.
Season tickets for $40. Yeah. Would you trade Voracek?
See, that's a tough one because Jake's my favorite player.
Another player that could get a really good return for the Flyers is Neuvirth, too.
Yes, I think that would be something that you could seriously look at, and I wouldn't be all that opposed to trading Mason either, because you look at Stolarz, what he's doing down in the AHL.
Sure,
right now he's playing fantastic. I think he's the fifth-ranked goalie in the AHL now.
Yeah, he's certainly earning his keep, so to speak. Yeah.
So Mason is another guy that I think can get you a great return, and I think Neuvirth could as well. Maybe not as much as Mason.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, we're still paying Briz. We can just bring him back.
That's
for
true.
For a reunion tour.
And he does seem to be hanging around the facility.
He loves it,
just for no apparent reason.
Yeah, he loves it.
Just shows up.
He's cool. Whatever. I'm all right with that guy.
Next question.
Wow, my God. I turned my head for 1 second.
Well, see, you jumped right into the Reddit questions without giving me a chance last time, so you deserve that one.
You know what? Wow, I actually kind of agree with you on that. I've got nothing. You want to do one more?
Yeah, one more. What do we got?
Let's go ahead and ask a question from Reddit Flyers user YouBatRastard. He asked this: what sort of role on the ice do you see Lawton as? What major or any adjustments need to be made for him to keep up to pace playing at this level due to what role you think he has?
Scott Lawton, what you're seeing this year is basically what he is. I know I said earlier that this team doesn't have lines, but once you start getting all the pieces together and you do have a true first and second line, he falls on that next line, that third line. I think that's what he is. He's a third-line player. You got to love the hustle. You got to love the speed. The guy never gives up on a play. He's one of those guys you need on the third line of a hockey team. I don't really think you could ask for more than what you've seen so far this year out of him.
Yeah, he comes into work, he does his job the right way and the way he's expected to. Adjustments, I don't see too many for Scott Lawton at this current juncture in time.
No, he's not going to be a superstar. He's just a quality NHL player.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, what more do you need?
You need those type of guys.
All right.
That's it?
That's it.
No more questions?
Well, we'll get more in
Okay.
next time. So
all right, okay.
Keep submitting questions if you want to have them read on the show. And shout out to everybody who submitted questions and that we got to. Ginger Dirty Mitts on Reddit, R35H93 on Reddit, Ubat Rastard, as well as Aaron McFarland and Nick, both hanging out on our Facebook page. Thank you so much for interacting with us.
All right, so I have a question for you, and it's kind of been in the news the last couple weeks about the NHL and the lack of scoring.
Okay.
Question is, how do you fix that? I mean, Babcock came out a couple weeks ago, and he was complaining about goaltenders being too big, and we need to make the nets bigger.
No, that was Patrick Waugh that said that. Or did
Waugh
Babcock
said
come out
it.
and say it too?
Babcock came out and said
He's
it
just
too.
trying to get wins for the Leafs because he knows what situation he's put himself in.
But it's a legitimate point.
I guess. I mean, yeah, goalies are getting bigger. That's true. I mean, look at Stolarz. The guy's like 7 feet tall.
Well, goalies are getting bigger. The equipment's getting bigger, obviously. So I kind of agree. Why not make the nets a little bit bigger?
A little bit. But so what do you mean? Like
I'd go
2 inches on either side or higher? Or
I'd go an inch higher and an inch on both sides.
Do you think that would make that big of a difference?
I don't know. I think you try it. Actually, I think there's other ways you could go about it other than just increasing the size of the nets.
I'd say make the nets smaller.
Smaller?
Yeah. You're getting paid more money than any other person in the world to be the best at this sport.
Yep.
You should be able to get it in a goal that's smaller than normal people.
They
would
can't
get
do it
in.
now.
So then I'm sorry, Charlie, but you know what?
Here's some straight up facts for you.
Wow. He's procuring data. That's
Back in
fantastic.
the 81-82 season, NHL teams were scoring just over 4 goals a game.
Yeah, and Gretzky was playing then too. So
I'll get to Gretzky in a minute.
Oh boy, here we go.
Last year, it was 2.73 goals a game, so over a goal less.
Are people really that upset about it?
Yeah, I think the game has become somewhat boring, especially 5-on-5.
It's not like watching baseball.
Well, no, it's not baseball boring. It's not basketball boring.
I don't think
I don't
is
think
boring.
I don't think the game is as exciting as when growing up watching it.
Well, the Flyers were better back then.
Maybe that's what
So
it is.
it could just
Maybe
be
this is
attributed-
just a Flyers problem for us.
Could be. I mean, I'm not going to dismiss that. You know what? Make the goals smaller. That's what I say.
Make
that
them
would be
smaller.
fun. Now, that would be entertaining.
Well, I mean, everybody says Ovechkin's a great goal scorer, but you go back to 81-82, Gretzky had 92 goals, 212 points. Ovechkin last year had 53 goals. Jamie Benn led the league with 87 points.
Maybe the skill level has dropped off and they're just expecting more money.
So it's a money issue?
Could be. Maybe these people aren't as good as they think they are. Maybe Ovechkin's a fraud. No, I don't know. In all seriousness, I don't really know what to make of that because I don't find the game being boring right now. So
See, here's where it stands out to me, and it's been in the overtimes. You see that 3-on-3 hockey.
Sure.
And it's up and down. It's scoring chance after scoring chance. Now, I'm not saying make the entire game 3-on-3, and I don't know if you can do this with the arenas the way they're currently constructed, but maybe go Olympic-sized ice. A little bit bigger ice surface, give you a little bit more room to skate around out there.
Yeah, but then you got the same size goal. I don't know. I like it the way it is. I don't have any complaints with the way it is. The only complaint I have with hockey right now is that my team is playing like crap. That's the only complaint I have. It's not about goal size, ice size. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, but don't you want more scoring in these games? Do you really want to sit there
No.
and watch a game like
I just want wins from the Flyers. That's what I want.
that
I want
game?
wins.
That game last week between the Flyers and the Sharks was so boring.
That's just the product that the team's putting out right now, though,
Yeah,
too.
but there was a time when you saw a scoreless game go into overtime, and it was incredible. It was 2 goaltenders standing on their heads. Goalies don't need to do that anymore.
Well, they should.
Yeah, well,
Because
there you go. And if you make the nets bigger, then you could do that.
I don't know.
You're really anti-change here.
Well,
You're not going to like my next idea.
What's your next idea?
Scrapping 5-on-5 and just playing 4-on-4 throughout the game.
That doesn't work at all either.
Yes, it does. It's exciting hockey.
I don't know how I feel about this because I think there's other problems.
I think the NHL knows they have a problem, and that's why you're seeing 3-on-3 at the All-Star game this year.
Nah, I still like it the way it is. I don't know. I don't have any. I don't know how to answer this.
Change with the times, Grandpa.
Man, that was harsh. Yeah, I'm gonna call my friend Ray Parker Jr. See, Ray.
It all comes back to Ray Parker.
He's not.
No.
Is he outside?
No,
I think he might have left.
We had him escorted off the
I
premises.
think we might have gotten rid of Ray Parker Jr. I feel kind of bad for him. So, I don't know. Sure. Okay, fine. You want to change the net sizes? Whatever. I don't care. Okay, because it doesn't matter. Ticket prices are going to keep going up year after year after year. Game Center is going to keep going up year after year after year. NHL 16 is going to be a disappointing game year after year after year after year. So it doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. It's not like I have any control over it.
So I do?
Yes.
If I can do whatever I want?
I guess.
Get me Bettman on the phone.
Hang on. Oh, Gary? Gary.
Hello?
I just.
He's probably out for the holiday already.
He might be. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have to dial 1? Oh, wait. No, that's not it either.
I think you broke the phone.
I think I did. Shit.
This is why we haven't taken calls yet. We can't figure out how to work a phone.
We're working on it. Woo! Okay, so that was...
All right, so I'm not changing your mind on anything then.
I don't know. Well, we'll wait for Bettman to call us back.
Okay, all right,
and then we'll see what happens.
I'm sure Monday morning, bright and early, he'll call us.
We might have a couple voicemails. You never know.
That he's not going to call us back.
Oh, ye have little faith. It's the holidays.
Oh, it's true.
Except if you're in Canada, then it's just Thursday.
Don't they have Boxing Day? When's that?
I think that's a day after Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
That's when you put on gloves and you fight every person you can.
See, I thought Boxing Day was like this weekend as well.
No, that's
because that's why I thought the movie Creed was coming out.
No, that's out. No.
That has nothing to do
No,
with
it doesn't. They're not related in any way, shape, or form.
That does look like a good movie, though.
It looks okay. It's nice to see
just
Philly.
okay?
It looks nice. It's nice to see Philly again in a movie. You know?
They're talking about Stallone possibly getting another Oscar nomination for this one.
Wait, he had an Oscar nomination?
For the first movie. The first Rocky. Remember, he was a real actor at one time before he just started doing all sequels.
Well, I mean, the
Rocky
Rocky sequels are good.
Yeah. Rocky 3 is still my favorite movie out of all of them.
Well, yeah. You got Mr. T.
Yeah.
That's the only one where I wanted Rocky to lose. Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Why don't you come back to my house? I'll show you a real man.
Clubber, do you have a prediction for the fight?
Pain.
Best.
Clubber Lang is
my
awesome.
favorite scene from that movie.
I really wanted him to lose. Really wanted him to lose. And then they made Rocky 5, which was just...
we don't even pretend that one.
Like, that was like if Batman and Robin was a boxing movie.
Rocky 5 is so terrible.
Rocky 5 is terrible. It's really bad. Tommy Gunn, right? Is that the guy?
Yeah. But Stallone redeemed himself a little bit with Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, it was all right.
I liked Rocky Balboa.
It was
I thought it was a nice close to the series, and now I think this is a nice little move on here with Creed.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm excited to see
Listen, all I care about with Creed is Paulie going to be there with his fucking robot.
No. Apparently.
Well, then there you go.
From some of their previews, I believe Paulie's dead.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry, it may be a spoiler.
Oh, spoiler alert.
But I believe it was in the previews. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Well, maybe will Paulie's robot give the eulogy at his funeral?
I think so. I think that's how the movie opens up.
That was my favorite friendship dynamic of Rocky IV. Paulie and his robot.
Happy birthday, Paulie. Happy birthday, Paulie. Before he changed the voice.
Yeah. At some point, this is a hockey show. But yeah, no, Creed looks all right. I mean, since people are going to be taking a long weekend to enjoy the holidays and all that stuff.
What else you going to do? Watch the Flyers?
Or the Eagles?
Oh, let's not even go there.
My goal is to get blackout drunk by 12:30 tomorrow, so I won't even have to see it at all.
That's a pretty good plan.
I
endorse that plan.
I told my dad, I'm like, if you can think of anything to do at 12:30 on Thanksgiving, anything, they could be tearing up carpet and replacing it. That's better than watching the Eagles.
I would agree. You're not going to get any more arguments from me.
The media is going to try to run Chip out of town, just like with Brizgalov. It's like, God,
if
Philly media, just shut up.
If you're Chip and there's the USC job out there, there's the Miami job out there, there's also probably LSU's probably going to be an open up
Let him
job.
come to Penn State because James Franklin is not that good of a coach.
But why, if you're Chip, why would you put up with the Philadelphia media? Just go back to
Why
college.
does anybody?
True.
At this
Good point.
it's just like you come into town, your welcome wagon is Howard Eskin and Tim Panaccio. You're like, maybe I should reevaluate some things in my life.
Yeah, well, I wonder if Hackstall is thinking that way. There's already people calling for his head. The guy's 20 games into his coaching career in the NHL.
There's a name for those kind of people. Idiots.
Yes. Give the guy a season at least.
Oh, sorry about that. I couldn't hold that one in. Drinking that apple cider.
Hot apple cider?
No,
Oh, okay.
not hot apple cider.
So you brought apple cider in. Don't think, hey, maybe Ken would like some. I don't want it now. Not out of your cup.
All right. Well, there you go. Offer revoked. Done.
All right. Well, we've pretty much run out of hockey talk, I guess.
Yeah, we've got a game coming up later on.
Yep, tonight
Yep.
against the Islanders in Brooklyn.
Because when I think ice hockey, I think Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
First thing on the top of my mind. So what do you got?
It's
Prediction
either that
tonight?
or Sunrise, Florida.
Yes.
It's going to be a tough game,
Yes.
but the Flyers, I think, can win this game.
Big shocker. You're picking the Flyers to win.
Hey, I didn't pick them the last time. Okay? I think that they can win. I'll say this
Homer.
much. Out of the next 2 games that are coming up on the schedule, the
Yep.
Flyers will win at least one of them.
There's
and
a
it could be
bold prediction.
Nashville. It could be Nashville because Nashville's had some scoring problems.
And that game's back at the Wells Fargo Center. So, yeah, that would be a nice little Black
Lavi's
Friday
coming
treat.
home.
Yes. Yeah.
Score predictions, I'm not even doing.
No,
it
no,
because
no.
We're always so blatantly wrong. I'm just going to say, out of one of those 2 games,
Yep.
the Flyers will get a win.
What about the Rangers game on Saturday?
That's at the Garden.
Yeah. So no chance they win that.
I would
That'll
say-
be the one game they win.
Right? I
Yep.
know. Knowing this team.
The way this season has gone, that's how it's going to unfold.
One of these teams, the Flyers will win. I don't think they're going to go 0-3 over the next few games. What about you? What
Yeah.
say you, Kenneth?
Yeah, I'd like to agree.
But you're not.
Yeah, I mean,
I look at on your face. Just say it. Dude.
these are 3 really good teams, so it's going to be tough. If they can get some points out of this next 3 game set here, I'll be happy.
Yeah. And LeCavalier is going to be scratched again
Shocker.
for tonight's game against the Islanders.
All right, you ready to wrap this one up then?
Yeah, I think so. Well, with it being Thanksgiving and all, I think we should take a second here to say what we're thankful for.
Oh, okay. Can I start?
Sure.
Well, I'm thankful for the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, it makes you appreciate a team that can actually win a game.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So,
I'm thankful for the podcast. I'm thankful for all the people that have listened in and have stuck with us since June.
way to suck up.
You know, we've been. God damn it. trying to be-
No, I'm right there with you.
I'm trying to be
very-
heartfelt, and you're just crapping all over this whole
no,
operation.
I'm right there with you. I'm very thankful for everybody who's checked in and listened.
I mean, we've put out a lot of episodes since June. Looking back on it after, when we first started this whole thing, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know who'd be listening in, where they'd be listening in from. But, I mean, just the outpouring of people that are still following the show, still subscribe. I mean, it's been so great since June. And honestly, I know that the numbers of podcasts have dropped off a bit just because of, our workloads and stuff. But, I mean, this is, probably my favorite thing to do of the week.
Yep.
Really.
So, no, I'm right there with you. Yes.
Non-paying radio is better than paying radio.
Yes.
Figure that out. I mean, but seriously, we're going to keep working on the show. We're going to keep going, and we're going to have more stuff, coming up. Another contest maybe coming soon, getting you ready for the holiday season and all that stuff.
Yep. Good idea. And one more thank you to Ray Parker Jr., who was kind enough to hang out today with us, even though he wasn't invited.
And he cleaned our window for us.
Hell of a job.
But also, not only that, when we're talking about people that have interacted with us on the show, we didn't really say much about this over the past few days because, what really can you say? But, our minds, our hearts, our thoughts are with our friend who listens to the show in Bordeaux, France, our friend Patrice, because, Paris dealing with that terrible tragedy just last week. And we were actually interacting with Patrice while it was pretty much going on. Now, I did some research. Bordeaux is about 5 hours away from Paris, But to know
Still doesn't make it any less scary.
Yeah, that it's in your country, your homeland, and something, so terrible happens.
Yep.
I just want to let you know that, Patrice, if he's listening, which I know he probably is, he always listens to our podcast, downloads it first thing in the morning. Or, if you're another person that's listening in France too, and we haven't acknowledged you, our thoughts are and our prayers are with you, and all over the world, no matter where you are. I mean, we're all a family here, and we're all Flyer fans, and we're here for each other, just like any other Flyers podcast that floats around on the internet.
Yep.
There's no animosity. We're all here to help each other.
We love interacting with everyone.
Time on Earth is short.
Absolutely.
And it's even shorter because we're Philadelphia fans. I mean, really, our time is cut off a lot. I'm probably dying right now.
Oh, you've tried to kill me several times during this show.
I'm slowly fading away like Yoda when he died in Jedi. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen Return of the Jedi.
Yoda disappears.
Leaving I am. Well, seriously, even if you're in Canada, of course, in one of our favorite cities, Winnipeg. Enjoy your Thursday.
Yes.
And for all of our American friends, listeners, and all that good stuff on Reddit Flyers and stuff, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you.
You too.
And safe travels, everyone out there, if you're doing any traveling this weekend.
Yeah, if you're going anywhere, be safe.
Yeah.
We want to have people coming back to listen to the show.
And if you're doing any shopping, it's just a TV. There's no reason to go crazy.
There's no reason to trample somebody.
No.
Do your shopping online. Nobody gets killed.
Yes.
Well, for the most part. There could be like a warehouse worker at Amazon.com and like a whole shelf of knickknacks falls on him. Fred's dead. A whole shelf of Amazon goodies fell on him.
Well, there goes any hope of Amazon ever advertising on this show.
You don't think Amazon's going to advertise on our show?
Not now.
I've got some words for, I don't know.
You have no words.
That's
what you're saying.
I have none. I'm ready to eat turkey.
All right. For Andy, Rob, I'm Ken Prell. We are the Philly Hockey Guys. Thanks so much for listening. Happy Thanksgiving, and let's go Flyers.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like the Philly Hockey Guys podcast page on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Philly Hockey Guy. And subscribe on iTunes, TuneIn, and SoundCloud.